In another scene, after traveling a long way, a demon named Sesshomaru and his henchman Jaken were guided by the human head staff to an ancient tomb guarded by beasts. Jaken tells his master that it was the tomb they had been looking for, so Sesshomaru kills all the beasts that surrounded them. In addition, he shows his desire to get the fang because according to him, with it, he could transform himself. This was not an impediment for him to finish off each one of them, though he did not expect that a group of beasts would manage to escape, along with Myoga, the flea hidden in the fur of one of them, with the mission of informing Inuyasha of this attack. With this finished, the pair approach the grave, and on Sesshomaru's orders, Jaken tests the staff on the grave. To their disappointment, the woman's face on the staff screams, which means that this is not the grave they are looking for. Sesshomaru was not willing to waste any more time, so he leaves the place, continuing his search. He breaks into a soldier's camp to politely ask them for a boat, but when they refuse and try to attack him, he orders Jaken to eliminate them all. Jaken burns them with his staff and rushes to catch up with his master because otherwise he would leave him. But on his way, the staff changes direction on its own. When they travel on the boat, he lets Sesshomaru know about this change, and also tells him that Inuyasha possibly knows where the tomb they are looking for is. Sesshomaru doesn't even respond to him, and even hits him for mentioning that name in front of him, kindly reminding him that he doesn't want to know anything about Inuyasha. Returning with Kagome, the girl had returned home to pick up a bicycle, as this way it would be easier for her to get around in ancient times. As she heads to the village, Kagome wonders why she was chosen to travel to ancient times, and comes to the conclusion that it must have something to do with her family. After all, for many generations, they have been responsible for protecting the sacred tree and the ancient well. After arriving, Kagome asks Inuyasha to get down from a tree because she wants to tend to his wounds, caused during their last fight. Seeing that he is not willing, she uses her spell to bring him down, and just then, they are seen by Kaide, who misinterprets the situation. After Kagome explains her intentions, Inuyasha shows her his body, which does not even have a scar, so that she finally leaves him alone. He explains to them that it is because his body is different from that of a simple human like them. When Inuyasha is about to cover himself, he finds Myoga, the flea, drinking his blood. After escaping, he had managed to arrive thanks to the fact that Kagome had run him over with her bicycle and brought him to the village. Despite this, the poor thing was not only crushed by Inuyasha, but was almost exterminated by being sprayed with insecticide by Kagome. Later, when he recovers, he tells Inuyasha that an unknown person tried to open his father's grave. Myoga, being the protector of the tomb, has remained there for a long time, but with what happened, he had no choice but to leave it to look for him. That is just a fake stone tomb anyway, as his remains are somewhere else, but he doesn't know where they are. At that, Kaide wonders if his father was that phantom dog that ruled over the western region, one of the most recognized beasts in all history. However, when Kagome asks him about his mother, Inuyasha immediately becomes upset and only replies that she had already passed away a long time ago. When Inuyasha storms out of the place, Myoga explains that he always got upset when others mentioned his mother. Kagome is not satisfied with this answer, so she goes looking for Inuyasha, suspecting that his anger is due to the fact that his mother was human. If his father was a recognized demon, given Inuyasha's hybrid nature, his mother should be a human. It doesn't take long for her to confirm her thoughts, because that same night, after finding Inuyasha, he suddenly feels a supernatural power lurking around. When they raise their heads, they see that in the sky, inside a floating noble's palanquin, there is a beautiful woman tied with chains and little demons around her escorting her. She is apparently Inuyasha's mother, who was supposed to have died many years ago, and upon seeing him, the woman starts shouting his name. The worst part of all is that not only is she caught by a huge demon right after that, but it is also being controlled by Sesshomaru, Inuyasha's brother. When he finds his little brother, he is not exactly kind with his words, especially when he sees that Inuyasha is next to a human. Sesshomaru tells him that he is the shame of his family, but humiliating him is not the only reason for being there. He came to ask him about the location of his father's grave, since it is in a secret place and cannot be detected with the naked eye. Inuyasha tells him that he doesn't know, and even if he did, he would never tell him. As a result of this, Sesshomaru has no choice but to make his mother suffer so that he would confess the truth. Inuyasha obviously doesn't believe him, considering it's a trap, since his mother had been dead for a long time. However, Jaken informs him that Sesshomaru has an ability that can call upon the souls of the dead to appear again in this world, and even went to the trouble of giving her a new body. These words make Inuyasha hesitate, so he does not wait any longer and attacks them to free the woman. After achieving this, he asks Kagome to flee together, but this was not possible because the giant demon attacked them. Inuyasha intervenes in time and prevents them from being injured, but his mother activates a power that makes them disappear from the place. However, this apparently was in Sesshomaru's plans, even if they didn't know. On the other hand, the place where the trio was transported was the border of the spirit world. The woman tells her son that it is time for her to go to the afterlife and apologizes for making him go through so much suffering. Inuyasha tells her that everything that happened was not her fault, and he is happy to see her again. However, he doesn't realize that this person's face is not reflected in the water, meaning that this woman isn't his mother. The one who does realize it is Kagome, but she is not able to move a single muscle in her body or speak.